Here we are about to run a Temple of the Spider Master version. This is the post level 70 version. So they have a non-level 70 version of it. And it is just the leveling version basically for the people running the campaigns. You still have to have completed the campaign to run it directly. Otherwise you just have to get it from a random queue. So it's not much different than the leveling version of it. The only real change is, obviously the enemies are stronger, and the final boss has additional phases to go with it. So it's not just fighting one enemy. It kind of has two boss fights built into one. So you'll see when we get there. It's not a difficult dungeon. There are some mechanics they added in to make the boss fight different, I guess, than it used to be, and you'll see those. Used to, people would just run and jump off the side right here, but they changed the dungeon to where you can't advance past this point anymore until you kill all the enemies in this little area. So now in the non-epic version, they did the same thing except you can open a door, so you can actually skip it in the epic version, in the non-epic version. The first boss is across that platform. He is just let's see if we got one of them standing out here. He's just a Blade Master. That's all he is. He has all the same abilities as the Blade Master. Does everything the Blade Master does. He just hits harder. Does more damage, got more hit points. Got Quick Draw McGraw in here. Look at this guy. That's what I'm talking about. So there he is, first boss. Like I said, he's just a Blade Master. More hit points, does more damage. He summons ads throughout the fight. I'm sure we'll see the first set. There they are. The first set comes from the sides. The second set comes from the way you came in. There they are right there. Notice I'm just killing the ads. I'm letting the boss kind of do his thing. We actually got some really high DPS in this group. It's kind of crazy. You don't usually see this much in a single pug group, which I guess we're not technically a pug group. 4 of us are from the guild. That's good. That means I don't have to do as much, and I can just do the video. So a lot of people just hop through this little hole, this little cubby right here, and skip these enemies. I don't really understand why people do that. You're saving all of 10 seconds, so who really cares? But people will do it. So if you are a DPS and you're not way overpowered for this dungeon and you're just reaching the item level required, if you go fight those enemies by yourself, you might get killed. So this is the second boss. They didn't waste any time putting her in. It's right around the corner. So she's the same also as, she's kind of the assassin class. She's got the throwing knives that the assassins do, and The most important thing in this fight, really, is don't fight her where she starts off at. If you fight her when she's got her back to that statue right there, nobody can get behind her to do combat advantage damage. That's really the most important thing about fighting her. So if you're the tank, pull her off of it just a little bit so we can get around behind her. And DPS, just thin out the ads if you can. They dropped the old elemental equipment, elemental assault, or elemental alliance equipment, whatever they want to call it. I don't know what it's called. It's not useful for anything other than a armor skin anymore. If you just start the Undermountain campaign, which you should be able to do if you can get inside this dungeon, you just start that campaign, you will get better equipment than what drops in here. So you see that little assassin right there. If you run too close to the left side, that little guy will come out after you. And if you're behind the group, well, a lot of times the group won't even turn around. They won't even notice it, and you'll be fighting by yourself. So as you see, there are two phase spiders here. They don't actually appear unless you walk across the center. You can skirt the border like this, and you will avoid the phase spiders completely. But again, I don't really see any reason to do that. Most people will jump off the side, but they changed this to where you have to kill all the enemies. They would do that so they could bypass the enemies at the top of the platform up there, but since you have to kill them now to open the door, there's no reason to jump off the side right there unless you just want to. So as you see, there was a big giant spider over there. All it is big. Doesn't actually do anything, any more damage really than any other spider. This little area right here used to kill people all the time. The phase spiders used to be able to kill DPS in one hit. I don't think they can anymore. But I would let the tank go first anyway. Right now we have a very powerful group, so we don't really need to worry about that until we get to the boss. We got old quick draw running ahead. You're trying to become DPS king of the dungeon. It really matters to some people, so I don't think he's going to do it though. So here we are at the final boss. Same as the final boss in the non-epic version. It is Syndra. You can see her. Yeah, you can see her through the little doorway there, or through the little crack in the door. So there are basically two phases to this fight. The first one, where she's in this form right here. She does that club attack that you see knocked our tank backwards. She teleports around a lot. She has a palm blast attack, which is really her primary means of damage, and she does a web on the floor right here. So initially the web on the floor doesn't stick you inside of it. It's one of those things that the longer you stay in it, the more you get stuck. Purple orbs, yes, that's a new power they gave her. Alright, second part of the fight. She turns into a Drider and you get these big aspects of bloat popping up on the side over here. So, as you see, there's a green beam coming out of her, going into the from the Loth aspect over to the High Priest. So she can heal herself with the ads. if you don't kill them and you let the green beam do its thing. It's aiming at Centrith. It's not aiming at you. So you want to have somebody standing in between the beam and her to stop the beam from connecting. And if it does, sometimes it will heal her with the adds that happen to be around at the time. There used to be a beam come out of the other one. I guess they broke it and decided they didn't want to fix it. So, I don't know. But the one that used to come out of the other one, all it did was damage. And the tank would it would target one person in the group, and the tank would run in between the beam and that person to shield them from the damage. And that really is this fight. If you get hit by the beam coming from the Aspect of Loath over here, it will poison you. The poison is very deadly. It will do a lot of damage. And if you are a cleric, you do want to try to cleanse that poison from whoever it hits, usually the tank. So when you're tanking her, you want to tank her about right here, so you don't even have to move to get that beam coming from the Aspect of Loath to hit you. Just stand right here and tank her, and it'll hit you every single time. When I tank this fight, I usually keep I usually keep Enforced Threat on, so I can grab the adds to stop them from attacking everyone else, I guess. Because it's not a hard boss to tank. The only thing that's really dangerous is the beam coming from the Aspect of Loath that's sitting over here, and it's just because of the poison. So that is it. That is the Temple of the Spider Master version.